Hello friends, you're with a Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Runebound, the Island of Dread expansion, and this is the second video. I managed to complete my first 2 challenges. I got 2 experience points for that with my hero Mirella Good Tide, a gnome smuggler. I have a good ally here, Gurik Tree Speaker, it's this guy. I have the Gauntlets of the Shadow and the Lantern of Revealing. My problem is now that here on this main island or on the main continent we don't have any more of these green quests, so I gotta go somewhere else now. Maybe here, for example, to Lorimore. That might be a good idea. I could start there and yeah, and then I could travel here, cross the sea, do these adventures, then go here to this island, do here the 2 adventures, and then up here I can start with the yellow ones, but I'm not so sure about that, to be honest. But yeah, I think I'll do this. But before I do it, I go here in the forest because I got this quest of the silver key here. So I have to end my movement in a forest space, test Tinker. And if I manage to do this, I can go to Orus, which is here, and I get an item there which is 7 or less gold worth. So that could be a good idea to do. So I don't roll, I simply move here now, just 1 space in the forest. And because I got a +2 of Tinker, I'm actually not so bad. I got a 6, so I need an 8. And there is a chance that I can do this. Yes, no problem. I got a 16 actually. So now I can place this exhaustion marker here on the card to indicate that I've solved the quest. Or, well, not really, but that I've done the first part, and if I bring it to Orus, then I completed the quest. Okay, so I roll now for the threat track, and that's a 7, so we can place another skull here. This time we're more lucky. And now I'm moving here to Garnot, and then I'm trying to go from here to Orus. Let me see. Oh, we got a swamp here. Yeah, that's not so bad actually. We got a swamp here. We got mountains, and then we can go to the city. So that's not a... We made it here. Yeah. So we're now here in Garnot. But the problem is now that we can take a market step, but we don't have enough money to buy anything, so we can't even heal. So let's do the next threat, roll, and that's a 12. So we're still lucky. Great. So we place another skull here. And now we will actually travel the sea. It's called Voyaging. And we are now here in Garnet. And you see here in the market stack here is this captain. And if you want to travel, you can draw another card from this captain pile. So now we got these two captains. This is Arvan Karun. It's this guy here. I don't know, he doesn't look very trustworthy, but well, compared to him, I think, okay, we will see about that actually. So, they can fight like allies. When you defeat a sea adventure challenge, receive 1 gold in addition to any normal reward. Or here, when you hire this captain, you may discard a map counter to hire him for free. So that's actually a good idea. I might try to do this. Normally you have to pay the money to hire this captain. You can also hire a captain for loan, but then if you travel through the sea, you're not allowed to keep any rewards that you might get for defeating any adventures. So, for example, any gold or I think even experience is something you don't get if you hire a captain for loan. So in this case, I think I will take this guy here. And I will give away one of my map tiles. So it goes back in the cup. Captain Flatel. It looks really... okay. Oh man. So this unfortunate soul lives in eternal torment, suffering from a wound that never heals. But there is power to be had in pain. Okay, so he's not bad in magical fighting actually. Can take some wounds. Okay. And now we start traveling. Okay, well actually, I forgot that. We have to hire the captain in the market step. So that's not so important in this case, but we should have done this in the last turn. Okay, so now we travel and we just move here from Garnot to the next space, which is here, to the next space with an anchor. So that's here, we move here. That was my movement during this turn. And now I have to draw one of these anchor cards. And that is a sea stallion. Only the strongest merfolk can tame and ride these sea horses. More than once, these underwater stallions have helped their riders avoid dangerous sea hazards. So let's see, that should be possible actually. Okay, I think I'm gonna attack with my hero. I've got a 4, so I need a 7. And I did that easily. So this guy takes 1 damage. And then I'm gonna defend with the hero, but that's not a problem because it doesn't take any damage here. And finally this guy here, the captain, attacks, and he needs an 11. And he doesn't have that. So he takes 1 wound. Okay. And then it's me again, and I try again to attack the ranged combat here, and I need a 7. And yes, I have that. I got an 11. So we killed the sea stallion. And let's see. Receive 1 experience point. Well, that's not so great, but that's a start. You see, in this case you don't get these blue experience points, but only 1. And look at the top 4 cards in the Sea Adventure deck. Put them back on top of the deck in any order you wish. Well, that is pretty good, actually. That's something I really like. Okay, now let's see what we have here. That's a ghost ship. Looks pretty ridiculous, actually. And well, the magical power is pretty bad. I'm not sure if I want to do that. And we have here turbulent waters. The player to your left must move your hero to the next anchor or town space. If you are moved onto an anchor space, draw another sea adventure. Okay, we'll see about that. Okay, Freeport smugglers. For each, okay. During the market step, players may discard 1 or more gold. For each gold discarded, the player may either draw another market card and add it to the town's market stack, or may move an item from any other town's market stack to the market stack of the own his hero is in. Well, that's a pretty interesting card, actually. That might be an idea. And the 4th one is that one. Merfolk Charioteer. I think that's not too bad. I think I'll take that. Test diplomacy. Yeah, I think that's a good card. I'll take that. Okay, so now after the challenge, the captain takes an exhaustion marker. After every travel step, he takes an exhaustion marker. And well, if he would take more exhaustion markers than he can, and he's allowed to, then he takes a wound marker and so on. Okay, that wasn't too bad, actually. Let's see, I'm afraid now the thread track might go on. No, it isn't. That was lucky. And now we have an exception here because we are already here at the very end of the thread track. And there was a question in the posts, what happens then? Well, I simply place another skull right here. So now it's actually at 11. So if I roll a 10 next time, there is still more spaces for more skulls. Okay, so now let's travel on here. We go simply here to the Narrows of Greycar. Yeah, and we draw another one of these cards. And this time the Merfolk Charioteer. Before combat, test diplomacy 12. If you succeed, you automatically defeat this challenge. We got a diplomacy +2. So there's actually a chance that we can do this because we have now diplomacy 7. We only need a 5. Let's see what we can roll. Oh, 4. And once again, the dice left the table. So let's roll again here. Yeah, no problem at all. So we did that. We could talk to these people and they now decided to take my side and help us. Take this card. If you are voyaging, discard this card during your experience step to move to any town. So that's a really good card. We can take that for a longer travel later on, I think. But now it's not necessary because actually the next step brings us to Orus. But first we have to roll. Oh, and we shouldn't forget here Captain Flatel. He takes another one of these exhaustion markers, and then we roll, and we're damn lucky with the thread track. After such a bad start, now we're really lucky, so we can place another skull marker here. Okay, and then it's the next turn, and now we can move here to Orus. And what happens now is we place the captain now here in the market step of Orus, and that is, I think that's the blue one actually. The color doesn't really match, but still I think it's the blue one, yeah. So we place that captain here. Okay, and now we're allowed to draw a card. We got a market step here, and remember, oh actually now I remember, I was here and I was allowed to draw a card here too for the market step, even if I had no money, but I should do this. So that's the banner of the unicorn. I simply place that here. I think that's not a very good card, but now I'm here at Orus. And now I have a market step here too, and because I can complete this quest now, here, this card has an exhaustion counter on it during your market step in Orus. Receive one item worth 7 or less from the Orus market stack. Then turn this card face down and place it beneath your hero card. It becomes a completed quest. Okay. And then we can draw a card, another market card. Let's hope it's a good one. Well, it's not bad actually. That's worth 8. But I'm a smuggler. So now I can decrease an item's cost by up to 3. So, but it's only good for melee. So I don't think I need that. I will take this thing here. I will take Immolate. That's a rune. I like the runes, the design of the runes, by the way. I think they look pretty good. And it says magic. Activate to receive a +4 bonus to your hero's magic combat roll and inflict +1 wounds in magic combat in this phase. So that's pretty good. A pretty good rune in my opinion. Okay. But still we don't have enough money to heal, because we simply don't have any money at all. Well, that's not too bad. I think we're doing fine. And now we have to roll for the thread track once again. And that's an 11, and this time actually the thread track goes up. But now we can't complain, we were really lucky. So now it goes to 2. And again, I will do the check for the items worth 1 up to 4 gold, if they stay in the market stacks or not, to simulate the fluctuation of the market. And every time this thing comes on an even number, so here it's a 2, I'll draw an additional market card for each market stack, also to simulate this fluctuation. So I do this now. Okay, I just want to we've actually lost here the great bow. That might have been interesting. Dragon Tooth Hammer, that's not so interesting because it's a melee weapon. And the Griffin Wanderer. They go back on the discard pile of the market stack. And there are some new weapons. This Heartfinder is actually really great. For me, it's costs 9. Ranged weapon. Your hero receives a +2 bonus to his ranged combat rolls and inflicts +1 in ranged combat. We have another Lantern of Revealing. So it might be actually an interesting idea to have a second one. Then we have an extremely powerful ally. That's a fan-made ally actually. Costs 12, but it has strong combat values. We have this Honor Sword, which might be a realistic ally. He's not too expensive, so we might buy this guy. And also a extremely powerful ritual, Power of the Body. That is good for ranged combat, but also for melee combat, and that's something we don't do. Another interesting thing is this Breastplate of Forge here. That allows us to cancel up to 3 wounds being inflicted on my hero. So, let's see. Okay, so let's start with the next turn. And we're gonna try to follow maybe here the River of Sighs or the Quelden Flood here. This road here. So we might go to these mountains, Mount Eric and Mount Auric. Okay, I want to do these. If we can do these adventures successfully, then we can level up. Okay, let's see what we got here. We got a mountain. That's what I see. That's a good thing. So here we have hills. Let me see. Okay, we got river. That would be good to go here. We have hills to go here. And we have a mountain to go here. Very good. So you don't lose any time. Move right there and draw our next adventure. Oops. Okay, that's from the expansion, from the Shadows of Margaret expansion. Oh, that looks weird. Serpent Spawn Shaman. Okay, let's see. May the 3 lords of the serpent dissolve their prey in bellies full. May our foes' mouths be waxen, their tongues honey. They knot of hope is unbound, and all work of light is broken. That's a shamanic chant to the serpent gods. Okay. So this guy is, he's not bad. So now I am wondering to use maybe the Lantern of Revealing. It might be an idea. So let me see. I mean, this thing is pretty strong actually. That gives us 4. So maybe that's a better idea. I think I'll do this. I'll take this. And that allows me now to... How does that work? Okay, if you draw a green or yellow challenge on a later turn, you may discard it and replace it with the challenge beneath this card. So that's what we can do now. We can discard that one. And then I fight the Harpy Huntress. So, okay. Let's hope for the best here. Okay. Yeah. So first we have this that's not really good. That's a little risky. Okay, let's see anyway. So the first thing I will do is I think actually Gyric Tree Speaker. He will attack in ranged combat. So he's got a 2, that's not very much, so he needs a 10. And that's not enough, that's just a 5. So he takes 1 damage, 1 wound. And then we come to the melee phase. And here I actually try simply to defend myself. I only got a 1, so I need an 11. And I made it. Very good. That's exactly an 11. And now it's my strong phase. It's the magic phase. I can use this rune now, Immolate. So that allows me, that gives me a +4 bonus and +1 in magic damage. So I got a 9. So that's an automatic hit. And I do actually 2 damage, but she has 3, so that's not enough. But now we come again to the ranged attack phase, and this time I will attack again. I got an attack value of 4, so I need an 8 to hit her. Ah, nearly. That was bad luck. It was already an 8 and then it went to a 2. So that's just a 7. And that's definitely not enough. Okay. So I take 1 wound and I use the Gauntlets of Shadow here to prevent that wound. And now, well, it's not so easy. I have to defend myself, and I might take some wounds now from this melee attack. I need an 11 again. Ah, this time it wasn't good enough. It's just a 9. So I take 2 hits. This is bad. I gotta pay a lot to heal. So now I'm at... Ah, it's really bad. If I take another hit, I'm dead. Okay, but now it's my magical phase now, and I only need a 5 to kill her now. Oh, I was lucky here. A 6. So I made it. I killed the Harpy Huntress. That gives me 1 experience point. And 4 gold, which is a lot, but I'll have to pay for these golds. I have to pay for that, yeah, I have to pay it for healing right away. So let's roll again for the threat track. That's a 10. And then I will use the ability of this guy now, of Gyric Tree Speaker. If you end your movement in a non-town space without an adventure counter, Gyric may take 1 exhaustion to allow you enter a market step as if you were in the closest town. So I simply move now here, 1 step. There is no adventure counter there, and now I can do a market step. And oh, I put all these wounds away. I was too fast here. So I have to pay, there were 3 wounds on my hero. So I now simply pay 4 to be fit again. Sorry. But he has to take 1 in one of these fatigue markers. And I have to draw another market card, of course. That's Orc Vardach. That's a good melee weapon, but it's not so interesting for me. And then we have to roll for the threat track once again. That's a 12, so simply place another skull there. And now I simply move here to Mount Eric and attack the next green adventure. That's again from the Shadow of Margath expansion, so that's Thieves Guild Contact. You apprehend a member of the local Thieves Guild rifling through your bags at night. Let me go, he says, and the guild will owe you a favor. Take this card. At the beginning of your turn, you may discard this card to have the guild steal one item from any market stack and give it to you. To steal an item, you must spend gold equal to the item's cost -2. Oh, that's pretty good. So actually we can now get any item on the board for -5 because of the smuggler's ability to decrease the cost up to 3. So that's really interesting. That might allow us to get some really powerful item actually. Yeah, that's definitely great. Okay, let's see. And then we have to draw another card, of course. So this time it's from the Island of Dread. Oh, that's the quest for lore. Dwarfs know much about the history of these lands. If you can find the entrance to their underground fortress, you may learn much about the nightmare you are living through. Take this card. During a later turn, if you end your movement on a space in the mountains of Ash. They are here, I was there before. Test Tinker 10. Well, that's not too hard. If you succeed, receive 3 map counters. Then turn this card face down and place it beneath your hero. It becomes a completed quest. Okay. So, and then we have to roll again. And this is again from this tile. Well, that looks interesting actually. That's a snake dragon. By the way, I think that the artwork of this expansion, of the Island of Dread expansion, is already much better than the base game. If you remember, I had my problems with the artwork of the base game. I didn't like that at all. But this looks pretty cool, I guess. So, some of the most fearsome creatures in the land are those that feel at home above as well as below water. Before combat, test melee. If you fail, your hero takes a -4 penalty to all melee combat rolls during this combat. Well, actually, that's not good, but I'm not sure if it's so bad because I'm actually bad in melee anyway. So, but I can try to do this. So first I have to test it, and I need a 12 to be successful here. I don't have that, I only have a 10. So I got a -4 penalty to all melee combat rolls. Okay. And then I can attack. And I will do it the same way as I did it before actually. Gurik Tree Speaker, he will attack first. He's got a 2 in a ranged attack, and he needs an 8. If he misses, it's not so bad because this guy has a damage value of 0. So he needs an 8, and he has a 9. That is good because that allows me to finish him off during the magic phase. But we have to get through this stupid melee phase, so we have actually a -3. So we need a 16, I guess. Let's see. Okay, that's a 3. That's definitely not enough. So we take 1 damage, but we can again use the Gauntlets of Shadow to prevent that. And then we use our... Oh no, wait a minute. It's not that simple. I forgot that. I only can activate... Yeah, I forgot that. I only can activate an item once during each combat turn. So it's now not possible for me to activate the rune to do the second attack. Anyway, maybe I can do it. I need a 7 to hit the snake dragon, but I'll only do 1 damage. I just did it. That's a 5 here and a 2. So that's 1 damage on the snake dragon. And now I'll do a ranged attack here, and I need a 6 to hit. And that's enough. That's an 8. So I killed it. Very good. That gives me simply 3 gold and another experience point. Okay, and now I can level up because I got 5 of these experience tokens. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna I'm gonna take one of these +2 ranged attack things, place it here. I need some more space here, so like this. And so now I get a ranged attack of 6, which is pretty good. And I have the idea of using now the Thief's Guild contact. Let me check this. If I paid 2, and I can afford that because I got 3 now. They will actually... No, wait a minute. No, it's not like that. It costs -2. That's the point. It costs -2. So right now, these would be worth 5 plus 3. So I could now afford an item worth 8. Well, that's not exactly what I wanted. I'm thinking about getting this thing here, for example, the Heart Finder. That's a pretty good item. If I can get that, that would be great. So I need just 1 more gold, and then I could send the guild to steal that Heart Finder here. So that might be something I'll do in one of my next turns. Okay, but right now I think I was pretty successful, and I have to roll for the threat track, of course. And that was good. Yeah, that's not a problem. So I think I'm doing fine. I've leveled up for the first time now. I have some good items, especially this rune here, Emulate. So this, and I have a good ally. So I think this special ability here to increase or decrease an item's cost up to 3, that's an amazing ability. That's really strong. So yeah, I'm not absolutely sure what to do now. I might either go here, or I go right up here and try to do some of these yellow quests. Maybe I'm strong enough to go there and I don't have to do these 2 green quests here. I can do 2 green quests here and then start with the yellow quests. That might be an idea. But I'm not absolutely sure about that, actually. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna load this up now, and hope to see you in the next videos. Until then, bye.